Apple is the funniest company on earth.
Funny, haha, or funny?
Yeah, call it whatever. So they had their event yesterday. They come out here
Mm-hmm.
and say, "Here's our thinnest iPhone ever,
Mm-hmm.
with great battery life and its strong durability." And
Mm-hmm.
literally the next breath was, "Also, here's a battery you can attach to it."
Right. Also left semi-unstead asterisk asterisk. Here's some video playback numbers which rely on you having that battery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, um, yeah. Did you my honestly, so no major surprises, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of proceeded as I expected, and then it just ended very suddenly. Did you
Yep.
notice that?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, and we're done. Goodbye. You're like, but one more thing. No, oh, no more things. Uh,
Yeah.
Curious. I just felt like it just came to a screeching halt.
That's. I mean,
I gotta watch it again. It just felt abrupt, you
they're
know?
all just so. I mean, they've been doing this for 18 years or whatever. Like they're all so predictable at this point that the
Oh yeah.
formula hasn't changed. Other than now they do pre-canned videos because they got tired of doing live presentations.
Well, it certainly eliminates any you know,
Yeah.
question of something bad happening, I guess. But yeah, that itself is vaguely suspicious, right? I mean, like why?
The
I don't know.
I don't know the AirPod Pro 3. Selfishly, I mean,
Yes.
I still think we're going to Paris here for spring break. Although we haven't booked it yet. My wife has to like clear something up. I don't.
Goodbye.
No. It's more so. We're
I'm sure it's fine.
no. It's nothing. It's more family matter related. That's not our family. She's got to clear some things up about making sure nobody else is trying to schedule trips then. Anyways, completely beside the point. So far off track. But
I know what you're talking. You're talking about your grandparents and if they can what? No, no, your kid's going with you, isn't she?
yeah,
So what's the?
making sure they don't try to come with us.
Okay, sorry.
Like we really,
Okay, you were being curiously vague there. I was
yeah,
like, what are you talking about?
yeah.
Okay, yep.
They don't
Okay,
listen to this.
I understand. Yeah,
Anyways,
just keep it a
um,
secret and be like, hey, we're leaving.
yeah.
Surprise.
And
Or they'll
then they're
invite you
like,
to
"Hey,
some
we're
like dinner thing, and you're like, oh no, we're going to be in Paris that week.
yeah," and then they're like, "Oh, we'll book ours too," and we're like,
Yeah, or don't. Maybe just let us do our thing.
"Yeah, we like to travel." Yep. Anyways, but I was thinking, hey, what a great time to try to test that live translation thing.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Now, I got a
What
lot
do
of
you have?
questions
What do you
though.
have today? You have a two or a one?
Or the twos. But I need. I will have purchased by the time we do this, go on this trip. If we're, I'm assuming
Oh
we're.
yeah, I would say the AirPods Pro 3, if you're in that little ecosystem, is maybe the one no-brainer in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I would
especially
get them.
because I
I
don't.
will get them.
It's one of the last things in our household that we have that is not USB C. So, like to me, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
almost the hallmark feature is that it's not Lightning anymore.
Yeah, for me, it's the Apple TV thing, which I have to say was vaguely hoping they were going to replace. They will this year, but not yet.
You know what I still want that they don't do
Hmm.
is I wish that you could. I don't think you can do multiples, or maybe you can. I don't know.
Multiple what?
I want to be able to put them in my ears and connect to the
Mhm.
TV, but like have multiple of them connected to the TV.
Oh, uh,
I thought it was only one. Maybe that's only what my Apple TV
I've
supports.
never done that, but one of the new features in tvOS 26 is you can connect permanently to any AirPlay speaker as the default speaker,
Hmm.
which is actually kind of a big deal.
Actually, it
Um,
really is. Yeah.
and not 100% related to what you just said, obviously, but it makes me wonder, because one of the you can do this on the fly. Like if we're watching TV or yeah, watching TV, we can just
Mm-hmm.
arbitrarily add speakers, but as we're watching it works fine. Like it works good. So it seems like multiple AirPods, whatever's would work, but I've never tried that. I don't have multiple AirPods either. So
Yeah. Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. The phones are whatever.
Well, I mean, obviously the iPhone Air is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go back and kind of try to understand this because this is like this language around cameras and lenses and things, right? And so phone manufacturers typically refer to these things as cameras. To me, they're lenses. There is a camera system, right, which is a 1 to 3 typically lenses or whatever, sometimes 4, I guess, if you're Samsung, but on the rear side. But the iPhone Air has one camera,
Mm-hmm.
apparently 2 lenses somehow. It doesn't quite make sense to me. I think I gotta go find out what they really mean by this. I feel like what they're really saying is it does 2x optical zoom, but it's not a separate lens, I don't think. But they seem to be saying it like it is. I don't see how that could be. But um, there's that notion of take a high resolution shot, maybe it's like 48, 50 megapixels, and then you zoom in, and what you're doing is just like, it's not the right term. It's like optical cropping almost. You're just doing literal cropping. So you get a smaller images, but it's the real pixels. Like you're not baking it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's what they're doing. Anyway, I'm curious, but here's my problem, Brad. And I knew this was going to happen. As soon as this event was rumored to be on that date, and knowing exactly how Apple does everything, I looked at the dates and I knew, and they would and are offering these things for pre-order this Friday, which is the 12th, and then that they would ship to customers on the 19th, which is a week from Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And the 19th is the day we're flying to Mexico at 9 o'clock in the morning. So there is no chance I can't order any of this stuff, at least not from here.
I was gonna say, can you just go to an Apple store in Mexico and then?
Yeah, so there is one Apple store in Mexico City, and it's way the frick over in Polanco. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's hard to get to. But I went to apple.com.mx just to kind of see what this looked like, right? So for example, an iPad Air, iPhone Air, what's the actual price in the US? Is it $9.99 or $10.99 for this thing? Do you remember?
Oh, something like that. Hold on. I'm sure
Somewhere in there. I know. Yeah, it'd be easy enough to find out, Paul, if I could just
I'm
anyway.
sure we have the internet here. Let's hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, so while he does this, he looks this up.
$9.99.
$9.99. So in Mexico, that thing's $1,300.
Mm.
So I am not just no way. Oh, and also, even though I could bring the phone that I have there. I could trade it in. They could ship it to my place, or I could go get it, hand them the phone, however that works, right? They don't have trade-ins there. So, like if you go to apple.com.mx, which I don't think I've ever done before on purpose. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to sit this one out until at least mid-November. And like you, I think the one I care about most, honestly, is the AirPods. Although I'll be able to test the live translation thing because it is coming to AirPods Pro 2 as well, and I think AirPods 4, I believe. Something like that. That's useful. This is Babelfish stuff, right? If you've ever
This has always been. Didn't Google have this though, like on their Pixel Buds?
Yeah, for years. Yep, they have it. Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of this stuff. It's like there's some big new security feature tied to memory integrity, and Google's over here going like, "We've had that for 4 years. I don't know." Like you're acting like it's something different, but it looks like it's the same thing. I don't quite get it, but anyway, that's fine. Next year we'll talk about using Rust, in the iPhone kernel.
Oh God, if they.
Anyway, look, I'm not being cynical. These all look like solid upgrades to me, honestly. If you don't have the base iPhone is an excellent upgrade, really, even though it doesn't look like much, especially for people, a couple of years out. ADUX optical zoom in the Pro, the cooling is always an issue in the recent ones, especially the big guy. So maybe they solve that. Well, we'll find out. Whatever. Look, let's be honest here. We're all upgrading for one reason and one reason only, and that's Apple Intelligence. I'm kidding. I don't know. Yeah. They look, it's honestly, it's good.
They're fine.
There's nothing that stands out as truly objectionable or stupid or whatever. Like it's, And did I miss something? I could have sworn when this event opened, I'll watch it again, but like, I believe one of the first scenes in the video that started the event was an Apple TV remote. And I was like, oh, they're clearly going to update the Apple TV today. No, they did not.
You know what they should have done? They should have taken everything we learned from building this remote. We put into a phone called the Air.
Wow. I'm not saying it's like a war crime exactly, but
it's close.
Yeah, the previous one was. That one's just I guess, a normal crime against humanity. Is The Hague involved in this at all? Probably. Anyone who's dropped an Apple remote into the couch cushions knows what I'm talking about, which is everyone who owns an Apple TV remote. So,
They call it the camera plateau, or what do they call that stupid thing?
yeah, plateau.
Yeah.
He's plateaued, all right. Yeah. So here's the thing, though. I don't know if anyone addressed this. This is something I have to look up if anyone who's there saw this or not. But like one of the benefits of the camera bar that's on the Pixels for the past 3-4 years now is that you can put it down at the table and it doesn't wobble. I know it sounds like stupid, but you just put it down. It's fine. It's solid. And so they have this plateau thing across the camera bar, right? Although it's not all camera, which I guess is why they can't call it a camera bar. But the camera thing is over in the corner where it's been for years now.
Yep.
And so and it sticks out from the plateau. It plateaus further, if you will. There is a summit of the plateau. I don't know. So it's still gonna wobble, isn't it? Like what? Why wouldn't you just? Why wouldn't you put the? I don't know. Also, before, well, I should tell. I mean, you probably know this, but all of the componentry, at least in the Air, is in that bar thing, right? The plateau. And people are like, oh, the Apple miniaturization. I would just tell anyone to open up any modern PC laptop, which is whatever size, and understand that the logic board is like this tiny thing at the top, and the actual chip and whatever, unless it's like a gaming PC or something, is the same exact percentage of size of the device. Like it's not actually that impressive. The rest of it's battery, right? So that almost makes sense for that device. I don't know if the other iPhones have the same internal layout type. I don't think they do, honestly. But anyway, I'm not bothered by this. Like, I think some people are just like going to be like, that's ridiculous.
Like, I don't bothered by it. It's wrong. It's whatever.
No, it's fine. It's like, it's not, it probably isn't right for me. But I also know that, like, when was the last time someone pulled out a phone? Well, this happens with folding phones, right? Which Apple does not have. And someone else was like, oh my God, look at that thing. What is that? Yeah. And I think that's what you get with the little Razr phones that flip this way, or the Pixel Fold, or the Samsung Galaxy Fold Z, whatever. Like, you see one out in the world and you're like, oh, look at that thing. It's like, and you can kind of imagine like why this would be useful and interesting and whatever. And I think the Air will have some element of that just because it's so uniquely thin. And then they'll be like, what's that giant white wart thing you put on the back of it? And it's like, because I left the house and I actually want it to work. I guess we'll see. I don't know. This is going to be one of those things where people review it and they're like, it's good for you.
I'm surprised they didn't call it the 17 Air. Because they have 17 Pro, iPhone Air, iPhone 17, iPhone 16, iPhone 16e. Like, what are they going to come out with? iPhone Air 2 next? Like, that's going to be...
Why didn't they call it the 26? No, I mean, seriously, like, why would you half-ass the name change? Like, just go to the year. You putting one out every year, right? Am I missing? I guess this allows them to not do that. Obviously, with what used to be the SE and is now the E? Keep track of this. I mean, they may not do that every year. I guess I think they're going to this coming year, but and then I guess they're going to stretch the release out with the next gen or whatever. But still, that would make sense. It could be 27, and it could come out. Some could come out in September. Some could come out in January, whenever they do the next drop. But still the same kind of model year.
Well, I don't. I'm sure they'll sell a lot of them.
I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, they're going to make some dollars. That's Yep.
I know. Well, I think my limitation in knee-jerk buying anything, not being able to this year, is maybe will help me cut through the fog a little bit and be like, okay, like what's really going on here? Like when I was writing this before we started recording. I'll publish this probably by the time people hear this, but like I didn't have to trade in my previous Pixel this year, right? So I have it. So when we got back from the last trip, and Google had released like these big updates for Android and for Pixel, and I was like, oh, I could just upgrade,
Mm-hmm.
the old one. And now it looks like exactly like the new one. And I'm like, huh, right? Which is not unique. I mean, they do this all the time. This is the big value with Pixel, especially. I mean, all platforms do this, but Pixel especially, like every quarter, the big feature drops. Android 16 in particular, the big quarter releases with the design changes, going to be like the desktop mode, whatever other features are coming over time. Like it's going to be a big year. That's great. Like if you own a device, because Google announced all these features, just like Apple just did, that are kind of unique to the new devices for now, but
Yeah.
most of them come to the whatever supported devices are still in the market, are still out in the world rather. And I don't know, it's going to be kind of interesting to see. Like that's it makes for an awkward announcement,
Mm-hmm.
because you could be like, all right, here's 10 new features. You're like, how many of those are coming to Pixel 9, 8, whatever? And they're like, yeah, all of them, probably, or 9 of the 10, maybe. It's going to be something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know how long until somebody's iPhone Air bends, and then
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
sure we all know they've tested against this and they're confident it won't happen. But
Um, I was gonna say I had whatever the big six was, like iPhone 6
mm-hmm.
Plus or whatever they called it at the time. Six, I don't remember, but that was the bendy one, and I had taken it. I think it was in Europe somewhere, but it was in my back pocket, which I don't ever do. I don't remember why it was there, and I sat down and I was like, oh, and there was like a little. I'm exaggerating slightly, but there was a curve to it, and you put it down on the table, and you're like, oh, that's not good, and so you kind of press
Mm-hmm.
down on it and you straighten it out, whatever. And then the next version, remember back then they used to do the SE, no, what they call the interim ones, the S model, right? So the 6S, whatever the big one was, I got that, and that was actually dramatically more rigid. So they did. I'm not saying they figured it out, but they did. They had a problem, and they
Yep.
did in the next version. Kind of like the 4 to the 4S, where they fixed the antenna thing.
I also like how they
Um,
had Janet Ive doing the aluminum
oh my
extrusion
God, thank
voiceovers.
you.
Like,
I know.
could you have picked
It's
somebody who
made
didn't
it's
have a
made
British
of
accent? Like,
aluminium. Like, do they have to be British?
right?
Like, yeah, that was
They
a
should have
little.
got a Scottish guy, like an old Scottish guy.
I just, I mean, maybe just whoever the best person is for this. I mean, like, why? Maybe that is the best person. Maybe that's just a weird coincidence, but that's quite a coincidence.
Yeah.
Johnny Ive was so, I hate to say it this way, but iconic. I mean,
Right. He had like a Sean Connery voice, David
yes,
Attenborough voice, right? Like you
yes, yes.
recognize the voice, and then you don't. It's like when Top Gear exploded, and they try to bring in new hosts to do Top Gear again. It's like you can't. You,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got to take a different direction. Get an Australian guy. Get somebody.
I guess, well, or yes, I mean, to someone completely different. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that stood out for sure.
Scottish guy would have been great because he'd be like, yeah, we got the aluminium, and then we defeated the Brits.
He would have just talked and everyone would have looked at each other and be like, what did he just say? They'd have to like caption it, for English speakers.
I guess defeated the English, not the Brits, because whatever.
I,
Somebody.
wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, you'll be corrected on that. It's one way or
I
the
know
other.
that's why.
But,
That's why I was like, okay, it wouldn't be the Brits because whatever. But that was always my favorite part of touring any place in Scotland. It was the glorious Scots defeated the Englishmen here on this date.
there's a beautiful castle or whatever it is in Ireland, north of Dublin. And it depicts, there's like a little museum thing or whatever it is. And it has these depictions of this naval battle that occurred, like it was, well, I don't know what you call a land a naval battle, but the castle that was bombarded by some navy, and they defeated this navy, I guess, and sent them skulking back to France, of course. So even Ireland, which doesn't really have a rich history of winning any wars or anything, defeated the French. So it's like this. It's almost comical. It's like, who did they beat? Like the French. Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, good job, Apple. You did your thing. Though
Mm-hmm.
usually they'll have another one usually in October, right? That's like their
Yeah,
iPad,
so
TV.
Google and Apple both, right? Like, because
Yeah.
Google's got some home stuff coming, and I think that's what that's going to be for Apple mostly. It will probably be, I don't know if they do an event or not, but it should be like Apple TV, the iPad
Mm-hmm.
Pro M5, I guess. What else is missing? Some more stuff. Oh, the new HomePods, the
Yeah.
minis. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look, the internet held up.
It was probably your fault.